YouTube, what's up? So if you have children with the wrong person, you already know what that will do to your presence. Because for one, if you have children with the wrong person and you don't take care of your child because you know it's with the wrong person, that's going to eat you alive. So that's going to manifest parasites because of that right there, what that does to your body, abandoning your children, what that emotionally does to you, how you mentally see life after you've done something like that. It's just like once you've committed an atrocity, then you live a life where atrocities are more possible and more likely because that's the way you're viewing life because it's you made it more possible. That's the reality you're dwelling in. So having kids and abandoning them you're gonna manifest parasites. The kid is gonna manifest parasites, and then your reincarnation cycle is gonna continue. You're gonna unconsciously reincarnate through the kid's kid, and then it's just gonna keep rippling. So that's one way of having, getting eaten alive by parasites and becoming food. And then another way is if you have the kids with the wrong person, and then you try to force being present and try to force taking care of them. So it's a catch-22 in that. Having kids with the wrong person in malalignment, because creation is alignment. So when the alignment is incorrect and you're not your true self, then whatever you create from that alignment is selfish. It's not the true self. So when creating or aligning in the level of ushering in the ancestors or children, what have you, the ripple effects are even more, immense. So the care has to be on another level, and self-care is very different for different people, the definition. So if you have a kid with the wrong person and you have to spend your life trying to take care of a child that you know is with the wrong person, then you're going to be eaten alive by parasites because the kid is going to be half that person that you shouldn't have bred with. Now your consciousness is tied into one body with that person, and now you're transitioning from your body to that body and into the next body that child has and that child has. So that's what's happening in the process of reincarnation or having kids or merging or copulation, whatever you want to call that. So that is how people become food, because the parasite is going to drive you to have kids with the wrong person so that you stay in a perpetual state of lack. You won't have the natural energy to make the ends meet. You'll need stimulants, and the stimulants are parasite food. So people are eating these stimulants because I got to feed my family. I got to do this. It's because you did things in the wrong order, and now the parasites are filling in the gaps for you. If you climax your life, because that's what having a baby is. The male shouldn't climax until he's ready to copulate and recreate himself and create a greater trajectory for the consciousness that is him. So when you don't master your body and you're not in full alignment, if you're not fully inhabiting the body, fully being yourself, letting the breath fully inhabit and communicate with all the cells, then you're reproducing from a misalignment. So you're going to usher in a misaligned child. The child's going to come in and it's going to be from vanity. So you'll have this child that doesn't really care about you. The dynamic isn't going to be a genuine dynamic because you created from a vain place. You just had sex with this person because of physical comforts and vanity. What they look like, what the kid was going to look like, what status comes with all of that, that's just going to come from that. That's what you invested in. You invest in vanity and you get chaos. That's what's going to happen. Vanity before the fall. So it's really like that. Like the way that when you do one thing like that, as far as creating or aligning like that, the ripples for the rest of your life, you will not be allowed to be yourself for the rest of your life if you have a kid with the wrong person. You're not allowed to be. You've already passed the torch and shown that you're not in control, and you've given that up, and now you've passed it to this child who's created from. You've now kicked the can to where now they have to repair the alignment and be themselves and fill the gaps in and go through all of that ancestral trauma releasing and all that, whatever you want to call it, which is just bound up energy, a bunch of bound up energy that was invested into the matrix that needs to be released. Again, people are being converted into money. You're trading your breath for money. So you're trading your spirit for money. You're being converted. Your body is the spirit. So the more that you're trading that, the energy itself, that's why it's dead people on the money, dead presidents, because you're converting your energy, your spirit into money. So that's the same thing. Like people are getting converted into the matrix, basically. Their consciousness is being converted and basically being monetized and digitized to where now, they just become anima men. They just become animated creatures. Their identity is the anima. It's not the animus. It's not the consciousness or the light or what have you, the Tao. So if you have children with the correct alignment, then you'll have that natural inspiration, that natural breath, inspira. You have that natural inspiration to take care of your child, and life will support it because you are life. So when you work with life and you don't try to dominate it, you master it by becoming it, then life supports you because you support yourself. It's a paradox in that sense. It's the oneness of things there. So it will all be effortless. Not to say that there's no effort. It's just to say that the effort is coming from a natural place. So it doesn't feel like it's work. You don't need stimulation to do it. It's naturally what has been carved out for you by you. So that's why having a child is critical. That's as far as like the way you do it. It's all about the way. The Tao is the way. So it's all about the way. So the way that you're having a child is the way you're born, or the way you born is the way you die. The way you live is the way you die. So if you're consciously having the child with someone, if you're yourself and you unite, you make a union with someone that is themselves, then the child is themselves. And then first and third person, everybody in the room, when the whole process of conception, when you're experiencing the light, the consciousness, transition through the bodies, and there's oneness in that whole process, and there's no missed gaps, then you don't have to repeat. You don't have to repeat the process. Like people are going through the process of having children because there was a bunch of gaps and absences as far as the 9-month process of them, the gestation, and then the whole process of bringing the baby into the world, what have you, so they can take their first breath. There was no natural birth there. There was no intimacy. There was no presence. So people continually stay in that loop, recreating these events and going through their birth from the third person instead of going through it from the third person as the father, from the first person as the baby, and then the first person as the mother. And so the whole third person, this all happening simultaneously. They're all one. And when you have respect to the process, then there's no separation from you in the process, and you proceed instead of staying stagnant. But people would rather stay stuck because it feels like they know it. There's some comfort in that infinite stagnation. People would rather run around in circles because it feels like they're running because it's movement, even though they're not moving forward. So that's really that's about it. That's the climax in life. It really is the climax. It's the climax. You're having a baby. That's the climax point, and then you're already packing up for the next life. You're getting that prepared. That's already been primed. That whole process of moving forward. Then you start to dream in this life. Once you have that baby, then you're going to start to dream in this life about being your great grandkid. And the more that you start to go to sleep and wake up in that dream becomes your reality more and more. And then you let this body go. And then there's continuity of consciousness from one body to the next. There's no separation because the presence was all there, and there's no parasites. Like that's why we have foster kids and all this unconscious behavior now, and all of the pale skin and all that. It's just unconscious vanity breeding is going to continually perpetuate that. So it's anything that creates status is going to create vanity, and the more that you identify with that, then the more that you're going to attract from status and vanity, and then perpetuate it more and more. And people are just caught in that loop, and most people never realize they're in the loop. So that's it.